The UN removes cannabis from list of the world's most dangerous drugs. Right. The UN Commission on Narcotic Drugs voted to remove cannabis from the list of world's most dangerous drugs. The Vienna-based UN agency said in a statement that out of its 53 member states, 27 voted in support and 25 against the reclassification of the drug, with one abstention from Ukraine. The US and European nations were among those who voted in favor, while China, Egypt, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Russia were amongst the countries that opposed. Canada and Uruguay have already legalized the sale and use of cannabis for recreational purposes, and Mexico and Luxembourg appear set to follow suit. Very interesting story. Okay, so cannabis, marijuana, yeah. I think some people call it weed as well. Yes. These this plant, this substance, is actually used medically in a lot of places. I think I gave a story on Tea or Coffee of a friend whose father had cancer. And this is a German girl, a German woman, German family. So I'm saying German because so that we understand that this is actually in Germany, right? So, so her father was suffering from cancer, and he was treating cancer rather. And one of the prescriptions he was given was actually medicinal cannabis, medicinal marijuana, to help with, with the effects and with the pain and etc. And I found it very interesting. So I was just asking her, how come, so in what kind of doses? And, she would go and visit her father, and she would indulge in the cannabis with him. Obviously, she's not ill, and, she's just doing it for recreation, and while her father is doing it to get well. Why am I saying this story? I just find it interesting that, the UN has now come out to say that they are trying to declassify cannabis as an illegal substance, but, the countries on the list who are opposing it, China, Egypt, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Russia, these countries are quite traditional, for the lack of a better word, conservative, actually. Russia is quite a conservative country, actually. China, Egypt, Nigeria, Pakistan, there's a lot of religion outplaying in some of these countries that have been mentioned. So I kind of understand where the opposition is coming from. What I would, however, say, to Nigeria and other countries that are opposing this thing is to maybe rethink, the economic and the medicinal value of marijuana cannabis to the nation. Exporting cannabis would bring in a lot of money, because we have the soil and the vegetation and the weather to grow, cannabis in large quantities to export for medicinal and recreational use. Medicinal value, it helps with a lot of diseases. It helps with a lot of biological and mental health issues. So I think that some of these countries need to probably, rethink their opposition, for whatever reason that they have chosen to oppose it, like Nigeria, for instance. I'm sure they have a good reason, but they should probably just rethink it and, weigh it out properly. If highly developed countries, like the US and a bunch of other European countries are getting behind, decriminalizing and de-demonizing this particular drug, I think Nigeria should, have a rethink, basically.
Well, I guess so. For them to have come to this conclusion, it's probably because they've seen, cannabis, like you've said, to a large extent, it's, in fact, the effect on the economy is very good.
Yeah.
But now, if you're also to look at the negativity, like you said, it's better you weigh the pros and the cons. So now it feels like the cons are more, because the way a lot of people misuse the drug. Do you understand? So when we are looking at it, we're trying to weigh the pros and cons. There is a pro, or there are pros, there are cons. But when the cons are now, we've talked about balance, right? Let's us try to balance everything we do out.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, they've so gotten addicted. Even at a very tender age, you would see some people already addicted to marijuana. And if you understand the drug, you know that you can actually quickly get addicted to it. Now, if this is the case, and this is what the United Nations have seen, and they are trying to, because with you getting addicted to the drug, a lot of other things can follow suit. Do you understand? So if this is what they have seen, and they've decided, although I would not say they should completely scrap the drug out. Like you've already explained the economical impact of these drugs, you know, in different countries. They shouldn't completely scrap it out. I'm not sure how they can entirely balance it, but I do not feel like removing it and tagging it the most dangerous drug, you know, is the way forward. Because something that is also bringing value to a country should not be entirely scrapped out, should actually be looked into. So basically weighing the pros and cons, if they've seen that the cons are more and they feel like this is what they could have done better, I will not blame them. But honestly, I would just say they should have a rethink on, you know, removing it completely. They should have a rethink. It has both positive and negative. We just need to find that balance, basically. All right. And the next story now, or the last story rather, on our training topic this morning, ex-model wins £200,000 legal battle with police officer. A former glamour model, Tracy Dixon, aged 54, has won £200,000 legal battle with the police officer after a policeman filmed her and her kids sunbathing naked using a helicopter camera, according to reports. Tracy Dixon sued the South Yorkshire Police Department after claiming police caused her distress, as they have not revealed how often she was spied on by the said policeman. According to her, the policeman who committed the crime, Adrian Pogmar, 53, who hover around her home at least 3 times a week and film her and her daughters, the youngest of whom was 8 at the time. Tracy, who is a mom of 3, took legal actions after Pogmar was jailed for a year in 2017 after admitting to 4 counts of misconduct in public office using the South Yorkshire police helicopter for sexual spying. This is very, very wrong. I do not know why people use their position.
Abuse of power.
Abuse of power.
Literally.
Yeah, that's the word. Why would people abuse? I mean, these are things you should be catching people for. These are things you should be arresting people for. But you are even caught in the act. Why would you be spying on a naked woman? Why would you be spying on her 3 daughters? This is very, very wrong. This is... I'm looking for the right word, right? Because I don't want to. I'm really looking for the right word. This is just wrong.
What is the right word?
I really like the fact that she took it up. And I like the fact that she won. Because you can't be doing this. You can't be spying on a woman. You can't be spying on her 3 daughters. And to think
children, you know, sexual spying. Oh, disgusting.
Anyways, that's all we can take on trending topics. But before we wrap up, I would like to say something. We should learn to use, you know, our position to do better in the economy, not create more problems just because you are in some kind of power position. No, it's things will not get better that way if people often do that. Let us try as much as we can. When you are given an opportunity, let us all try as much as we can to see how we can make the country even much more better and a safer place. How can a woman be baiting and then somebody is spying on her? Where is the privacy? These are people that are supposed to ensure privacy of citizens, but they are the one caught in the act. It's actually really wrong. And I really like the fact that, you know, he was caught, you know, and I hope he dances to the tune of all of his allegations because he's something else. But anyways, like we said, this is all we can take on our trending topics this morning.